Martin Luther King Jr. was a pastor, he was a father, he was a leader. Most importantly, he was a beacon of hope for millions. Dr. King fought for equality, he fought against racism, he believed in the power of peaceful protest. Dr. King's message was simple: love, not hate. He spoke out against injustice, he organized marches and boycotts, he faced arrest and violence. But he never gave up on his dream. His courage inspired people. People of all races and backgrounds joined his movement. They marched together, they sang together, they fought for freedom together. Dr. King's legacy continues to inspire us today. He reminds us that change is possible. He teaches us that we must never stop fighting for what is right. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He grew up in the segregated South. He saw the pain of segregation firsthand. It angered him. It fueled his desire for change. His parents were strong influences. His father was a pastor. He taught him about faith and justice. His mother was a teacher. She instilled in him the value of education. Dr. King was a bright student. He went to college at a young age. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned about nonviolent resistance. He believed this was the way to achieve equality. These early experiences shaped him. They made him the leader he became. He was ready to fight for justice. He was ready to lead the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus. This act of defiance sparked a movement. It was a turning point in the fight for civil rights. Dr. King was thrust into the spotlight. He became the leader of the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Black people refused to ride the buses. They walked, they carpooled, they showed their strength through unity. The boycott lasted for over a year. It got the nation's attention. It showed the power of peaceful protest. It was a victory for Dr. King and the movement. Dr. King continued to organize. He led marches and demonstrations across the country. He faced opposition and violence, but he never backed down. His courage inspired millions. Section 4. I Have a Dream, a Vision for Equality. On August 28, 1963, Dr. King delivered his most famous speech. He stood in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. He spoke about his dream for America. He dreamed of a nation where his children would be judged by their character, not their skin color. He dreamed of freedom and equality for all. His words resonated with millions. The I Have a Dream speech was a defining moment. It galvanized the civil rights movement. It put pressure on the government to act. It brought the issue of racial equality to the forefront. The speech is still relevant today. It reminds us that the fight for equality is not over. It inspires us to continue Dr. King's work. It reminds us that we all have a role to play in creating a just world. Section 5. A Legacy of Change, the Civil Rights Act and Beyond. Dr. King's work led to significant change. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a major victory. It outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was another milestone. It outlawed discriminatory voting practices. It ensured that all citizens had the right to vote. Dr. King's life was tragically cut short in 1968. He was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee, but his message of peace and equality lives on. We celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day every year. It's a day to honor his legacy. It's a day to reflect on his message. It's a day to continue his work. Dr. King's dream is our dream. It's a dream of a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect.